Hello, vinyl community. It is Robert with Block's Sonic Wafers. I've gotten all dressed up for you guys today. Uh, and I have received a little bit of mail, as I forewarned in my last video. So I thought we would take a look. This is not going to be an unboxing video because I have found that with my unboxing videos of the past, they don't get much views. So I think people are serious when they say they don't particularly like unboxing videos. So that this is not. But with that said, I don't know what's in this particular package. You might. If you do, raise your hand. It is the brand new release from Todd Snider, 2 CD live called Return of the Storyteller. Now, a few years ago, Todd put out an album that was two discs called The Storyteller, and it was live with a band called the Great American Taxi. Now, this is a more current tour, but it's Todd solo. If you're not familiar with Todd, he's the one that wrote Beer Run, but he's written a ton of great songs since then and at that time. But he's also known for his great storytelling, hence the name. And so this is going to be a good mixture of songs and storytelling. If you saw my most recent video called Just a Couple of Tunes, those two songs are by Todd. They're not from this album, but I think they're on here. Turn Me Loose was the first one, and yes, it's on here. So there's the first. Todd Snider on Thirsty Tigers and Aimless Records. Look at here. This is a little bit thick. Not an unboxing. So just settle down right now. Wee doggies. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the packages called the Originals. Comes with 5 albums. This is similar, except this is 10 albums and a bonus CD. Number 10 is actually the bonus CD. I'm going to open this puppy up. Not an unboxing. Do the big reveal. This is 10 years after. 1967 to 1974. Probably can't see that, but that's the albums that are included, which we will go through. You know, I've always liked what I'm familiar with by 10 years after. It's got a nice little book in here. It's got detail on each of the albums. A Space in Time and Rock and Roll Music to the World are the albums I was most familiar with back in the day, and still love those two albums. I also have a vinyl copy of Shh. But other than that, and I don't know why, I never pursued the rest of their earlier catalog. Nice booklet. So now, all in one fell swoop, I've got their first album. It's aged intentionally. Self-titled. 10 years after Undead. Stonehenge. Now, none of these have gatefold covers. You know, it's basically stripped down for economical purposes. The aforementioned Shh. That's a great record. Here's one I've been curious about for years and years and years and have never heard. Crinklewood Green. CDs, it's on Chrysalis. What? The bonus material, if I'm not mistaken, is from this period, and it's a box of tapes that Alvin Lee's widow found. They are complete masters of songs that were intended for this album, but due to space restrictions on vinyl, were shelved and have been boxed away all this time. So now we got A Space in Time, one of my faves. Rock and roll music to the world. Positive Vibrations. And this is the bonus disc called the Cap Ferret Sessions. Master Reel 1. It's got Look at Yourself, Running Around, Holy Shit, pardon my French, and There's a Feeling, and I Hear You Calling My Name. And that's an 11-minute and 26-second track. But as I say, these are all complete masters that were intended to go on, I think, the Watt album, and did not get used. So here's the cool thing about this set. All these discs, Amazon US currently $36. Very nice set. Everything's remastered. I can't wait to delve into all of this. And lastly, actually there's two items that haven't showed up. So I don't know if I'll hold this video off until those arrive or upload this one and then do another one. Animals 2018 remix. This is the Blu-ray edition. I have already reviewed the 5.1 versions. I have not listened to any of the stereo. Very thin and flimsy package for the Blu-ray. I think they did that because they just intended it for in the deluxe package. I don't know. It does have a little version of the booklet. It's probably exactly the same as you get with the vinyl version. Got the lyrics and a lot of pictures from the hypnosis photo shoot of the pig. But I'm here to say there are two versions of the 5.1 mix. There's two versions of everything on here. I mean, it's all the Animals album. There's no bonus material. There's no video. Nothing of that nature. But they have the DTS version of the 5.1 version compressed, and then they have the DTS version uncompressed. Same with the stereo, so there's two of those, and then there's two of the original 1977 mix. I think it's flat transfer, but it's also DTS compressed and uncompressed. But I have to give this an OMG as far as the 5.1 mix is concerned. I have never really been impressed with James Guthrie's 5.1 mixes for any of the other Pink Floyd material. I think he's finally getting there. And with this one, I have no complaints in that regard whatsoever. But now it makes me want for him to go back and redo the catalog that he's done thus far. You know, people learning how to do this on the job, and they release their first attempts, and you get what they got, and then eventually they learn there's things they can do to make it a better mix. Anyway, I'm giving this an A+. As I say, I haven't heard the stereo mix, but I will soon. I will keep listening to the 5.1 versions, and you people out there that don't have or don't want 5.1, eat your heart out. You do not know what you're missing. Okay, that's it for this particular video. You know, we've been waiting for this since 2018. Dave and Roger have been fighting back and forth because Roger wanted to update the liner notes in here, which, you know, as you all know, that means he wanted to talk politics, which is fine by me. Wouldn't have bothered me one bit. But apparently Dave held sway with all the legal authority he was given by the courts, which I never really understood. He wasn't even an original member of the band. Definitely an important contributor. But, you know, basically Roger wrote all this material on Animals and Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, and, you know, there are parts and pieces here and there that were contributed by others, but not much. So why in the world would the courts give the other guys control over the Pink Floyd catalog? I don't understand that, but I don't choose sides in that battle. I love them both. I buy whatever either one of them puts out as a band, solo artists, etc. And I will continue to do so. So that is it for this time being. As my other two shipments arrive, I will either put an addendum on the end of this video, or I will do a new video, but it won't be an unboxing. No unboxing. No. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing what I got. I'm going to enjoy digging into it, and I'm going to start that immediately. So you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm going to go get out of this suit and tie and listen to some tunes.
Thank you. You're doing terrific down there. I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you guys are having a good time. I'll do this song I've been playing a while. Not that long. Last year we had we had to stay home. Not only that, we lost a lot of troubadours. And one, John Prine, was like John Prine played a large role in my life. I met him when I was really young, and he was working on a record called The Missing Years, and he was making the demos for that record in Memphis. And Keith Sykes was the producer, and he knew how much I loved John, so he hired me to be the runner, meaning I picked up John at the hotel and took him where he wanted to go and got him what he needed. And he came out to see me. The second day we knew each other, he came to see me play at this place called the Daily Planet. And after that, him and his manager, Al Bonetta, and Don Bonetta, and Fiona Prine, those four, they looked after me like I was their own for a long time. I made albums for them. People ask me what he's like a lot. And the one story I like to tell is how he always, for years, his whole career, he ended his shows with Paradise and would get the opener to come play with him. And I came out to do it when it was my turn. And I didn't have a pick, and I said, I don't have a pick. And he pointed to this pile with like 150 of them, and he was like, use one of those. And I went to grab one, and he said, not that one, though. That's what he was like, right? But then you'd play that song with him, and then you'd walk off, and I'd point that out. He would walk off. For years, he'd walk off after, thank you, and then walk off. And then I'll tell you, my favorite story is when we went to Europe together, and we'd traveled 14 hours, if I remember. It was just this long flight. We were all beat up and tired and cranky. We knew we had a little bit of drive still, and it was me and John, his tour manager, Mitchell, Jason and Dave, guys in the band. And when we get in the car, they start going, John says, hey, I think you might be heading the wrong way. We have a long drive still. And the kid says, no, this is right, this is right. And then like an hour and a half fucking later, that fucking kid says, Mr. Prine, I think you might have been right. I just wanted to fucking kill that kid. And I could tell that tour manager Mitchell wanted to kill that kid in the band. Everybody was angry except for fucking John. And I don't mean that he had just read some book about how not to be so angry or just got sober or joined a church or anything. He was just being the kind of guy who could make up hello in there. And he still is. I mean, he said to that kid, he said, that's okay, it's fun to drive around. And he meant it. I'm certain that he meant it. My last memory of John was on that last tour he did. He'd been real sick before that tour, and I think he felt like time was running against him, you know. And on that tour, he did something I had never seen him do. At the end of the show, he didn't play Paradise. He played Lake Marie, and he would set his guitar down, and he started dancing around a little bit. And then a little more, and then a little more, you know? And eventually he was way out at the lip of the stage. He turned around and shook his butt at the crowd. He was doing this to everybody. It's like, what's happening? In my mind, I was like, what is happening right now? He was swinging it, and then it hit me. I felt like not only is there a difference between the way that young people dance and the way that older people dance, in that when young people dance, it's like an expression of maybe feeling sexy, and then when you're older and you do it, it's because maybe you don't give a rat's ass if you look sexy enough. And I felt like, oh my God, this is, I started to cry because I thought, this is his last poem and there ain't no words to it. That's what I thought. It's just a blast of gratitude, and he had a watch on a chain that he walked off swinging. What a guy. He walked past me and said, you didn't see that coming, did you? And I did not. And the last thing I'll tell you before I play the song is that he had a nickname that he came up with for himself. It was Handsome John. That's what he was like. I didn't know him as well as I tell everyone I did. Hell, he was nearly 50 and I was only a kid, but even way back in those missing years when he was still just catching on, there was nobody better than Handsome John. The next time I saw him, he walked off to paradise. Any way that I would say that I'm still taking for advice, for with a plain spoken word and a simple melody, you can see this world with dignity. Oh boy, look no further for your real McCoy. Here comes the singing mailman from Maywood, Illinois. Oh, saw him, he danced off to Lake Marie. When I realized I was crying out in tears of victory, for with a few still missing and a new one coming on, there was still nobody better than old Handsome John. Look no further for your real McCoy. Here comes the singing mailman from Maywood, Illinois. Oh, oh, boy. Oh, oh, boy.
Let the sky fall, let the sea sink, let the earth shake, let the sun blink, let the universe go spinning free. If my darling ever leaves me, let the world die, let my eyes go blind, let the grass turn blue. If I ever think of leaving you,